This is the 2023 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment, British Brown Ale. Thanks to our sponsors: Imperial Yeast, 5 Star Chemicals, Yakima Valley Hops, Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Store, and Brewers Hardware. Let's get tasting.
What's up, guys? Chris back from Burgles Brewing with review number 6 of 8 in the Brewtubers 2023 Yeast Experiment English Brown Ale. For this installment, I have Fermentation Adventures beer right here. This would be our man Kurt. Fun fact, if you check out our Instagram, Kurt does all the posting for us there, so shout out to him on that. Does an awesome job. And again, he's one of our canners, does his own labeling, so really cool. I'm lucky enough to have had some of Kurt's beer on numerous occasions, so really excited to crack this open. But like we said, English brown ale, same ingredients, same recipe as all the other ones we've had so far. A little bit of stats on Kurt's beer: 5.4% ABV, OG 1055, FG 1015. So a little more attenuation, I think, on this yeast than any of the other ones, or it's kind of sit like higher than mine or some of the other ones. I think a little higher for an English ale. And this was WYeast 1469 West Yorkshire Ale. So I don't know if I've personally never used any WYeast stuff, and I don't know if I've ever had a beer with it in it. So really excited to try. So let's crack it open and get going. Oh yeah, good hiss, good pop. Color looks real nice. It's pouring super clear out of the can, but we'll see when I'm done here with what it looks like in the glass. I don't think I poured that vigorously, but it's got a nice pour with a nice big head. Leads me to believe there's a lot of carb on there. The carb was really nicely carved in the can, didn't lose anything. Color, again, I think this one might be maybe a little darker than some of the other ones. Definitely on the darker end. There's definitely some ruby red in it, but it's definitely more brown than maybe the other ones. Definitely darker. Let me try to get it in the light here. You know what? In the ring light there, it's more red than it looks, but I think it's definitely a little darker than the other ones. The head's a little more tan than off-white. But again, crystal clear. I can see my finger clear through the grass and the Treehouse logo all the way through the glass. So appearance-wise, spot on. Ooh. This to me is just like a prototypical brown ale, or even like a darker English beer. It's got, some real nice caramel notes in there. I'm going to lean more towards toffee on this one than caramel. Yeah, with toffee, maybe a slight hint of like a dark baker's chocolate with a really nice, like, subtle hint of roast in there too. So kind of all the characters of the English brown ale that you'd want to come through with the malt that we chose. You're getting all that dark malt, a little bit of toffee, some caramel, some roast, some chocolate. But it's like, I say, mostly, and maybe a slight little kind of raisiny ester, almost like something you'd get out of using like a special bee. Really nice, really, really, really intriguing, enticing smell coming off of that. Let's get in and see if the taste matches. Oh, definitely medium body on it. I know I said I was going to get a taste, but I'm just, first assessment is, with how it poured out of the can and what it looked at the carb. Carb is actually really nicely carbed for an English ale. Not too high, which is kind of right where you want the English styles. Not too, you want them fully super carbed. I think carbonation spot on. Not under carb, but definitely on the medium side of things. I think the body plays into that. It's definitely got a medium to medium full body on this one. It doesn't wash off as quickly as the others. Kind of sticks a little bit. Definitely feels like a little like thicker and sweeter, almost like almost like a caramel, like not quite molasses, but it definitely lingers in the palate a little bit, which I don't mind for a brown ale, especially like a maltier beer. Kind of want a little bit of that sweetness to like stick around. I'm definitely getting a lot of the same notes in the flavor. They're just more subdued in the flavor than the aroma. Like the aroma is really popping out of this beer, like a lot. It definitely more toffee forward, more that caramel toffee. Like I said, almost like a raisiny plum kind of fruity English ester that you're getting there. Not overly on that ester, but it's definitely in there, giving it a little something. It's like the classic English ale ester you'd expect to have in there, but definitely favoring the toffee caramel sweeter notes of it. Maybe picking up the faintest hint of roast in the very, very back at the very, very end. And the chocolate too is not really, just kind of, I think it's just blended in with some of that toffee character. Really, I'm not getting a whole lot of the chocolate anymore. At least on the flavor. I'm gonna try to warm it up, see if I can get something else out of it. As far as like bitterness goes, I'm not getting any sort of bitterness on this. It's really smooth, it really goes down, and yeah, I'm not picking up any sort of bitterness or sort of dryness that you contribute to bitterness or anything like that. It just, I think this is just super well balanced. I would say it is, the best thing about it. I don't think, at least in the flavor, I don't think any, like I said, it's more toffee forward, but I don't think any one note is like taking off and driving it. Yeah, as it warm. Oh, that was a good. Yeah, that was warming it up. Did something to it. Yeah, definitely that classic English ester coming out like a subtle like raisiny plummy stone fruit mixed with toffee's really coming out, and like I said, just a slight whisper of a little roast and chocolate in the background. Yeah, and warm, and not like I took a long time. It was maybe 30 seconds to a minute to hold it and warm it up a little bit more. But it just brought out the toffee notes even more and drove them more forward for me. Didn't really help bring out any of the darker characters, and from what I'm tasting, like I said, but it's nicely balanced because like I am getting like a whisper of the roast, a whisper of the chocolate, but it's not heavily present, and it's definitely more toffee forward, and it's really intriguing. I think as far as the darker malts I'm looking at now is like yeah, okay. I thought we used this about the same amount of the crystal malts and brown malts as we did the darker stuff like the coffee and the pale chocolate, but the pale chocolate and the coffee malt were about half as much as the regular brown malt and the double roasted crystal. So maybe that's why the smoke and chocolate are a little more subdued, or not smoke, roast and chocolate are a little more subdued than you'd expect, and that's why the really toffee notes, and maybe it's like maybe that floor malted Maris Otters that we used to is given some malty characteristics that's like blending in more with the sweeter flavors that I'm getting. Yeah, it's such a good beer. It's so, the aroma is just so pleasant and enticing, drags you right in. Like I said, the flavor almost matches like the aroma spot on. It's a little more subdued in the flavor than the aroma, but all in all, a great beer, fantastic beer. It's gonna be tough to rank these now that we're 6 in. I'm trying to remember back. And I think the last one I had when I did Wrecked, I liked that the best, followed by Exit 12, then my own. This is definitely giving them all a run for their money. It's really, really similar to mine too. I think it's the closest to mine in as far as carb level, aroma, flavor too. I ranked mine third at the time, while going through them. So no, it's a toss up between 2 and 3 for me. I still think Rex for me. It was more complex. I think I got more of a bready something malt character to it that I haven't really gotten any of the other beers so far. It's just like a little different, being able to taste a little more of that malt. But so this is a toss up between 2 and 3. If I move it ahead of Exit 12s or behind it, yeah. All in all, though, Kurt, great beer. I'm gonna finish this and enjoy the hell out of it. And till next time, guys, it's been fun. Cheers.